I'm going to be sewing a KCK Kalis Cloth Kits snap-on pull-up diaper now, and we have a light blue outer colored PUL fabric and a black inner suede cloth fabric, and I'm going to be sewing the all-in-one version. And because I'm making an all-in-one, I don't need this extra tab of fabric here at the back of the diaper, so I'm going to cut this tab off so that the back of the diaper is flush with the wings. I sewn my soaker fabric to the wrong side of my inner fabric, and now I'm going to place my two diaper layers, the inner and outer layer, right sides together and sew them together. I'm going to sew my diaper at a point just under the wing, and I'm going to sew with a straight stitch using the seam allowance that's called for this size. I'm going to continue sewing right sides together until I reach the top of the other wing where I initially started. So you see now that I've reached the top of the wing, this is where I initially started, right here. So I'm leaving an opening in this wing where I'm going to turn the diaper right sides out later. I measured the elastic that I'm going to need for this diaper. So I'm going to take the back elastic that I've cut, and I'm going to place it at the back of the diaper using my elastic tack points, which are right around the soaker area, and I'm going to sew the elastic to the inner layer because it's easier than sewing to the PUL layer, and I'm going to sew with a zigzag stitch, a fairly wide zigzag stitch between the two elastic tack points. Go very slowly, pulling the elastic a little bit at a time while sewing the elastic onto the diaper, and you're going to sew this right into the seam allowance. So you need to use enough stretch on the elastic so that you'll reach the other tack point by the time you get to the end of your elastic. Now I'm going to sew the elastic to the leg areas of my diaper, and you see that I have cut the elastic in the amount and the width that was called for in the instructions. I've tacked it to the edge of my diaper, and I'm going to sew with a wide zigzag stitch within the seam allowance that I've already created when I sewed the right sides together. I'm going to pull the elastic with my left hand while guiding the fabric through with my right hand. I want to use enough pull on the elastic so that when I get to the bottom elastic tack point, I will have just used all the elastic that I measured. It's about a 75 to 85% stretch. And then when I get to the other end, I want to tack it down very carefully so that I have a nice amount of stretch in the leg area of my diaper. I'm going to sew the elastic that I measured and cut according to the instructions. I'm going to tack it to my first elastic tack point, stretch it about 70 to 80%, and then sew it with a wide zigzag stitch within my seam allowance so that the end of the elastic hits my last elastic tack point in the front. You see I have a diaper with right sides sewn together, and I have elastic sewn into the front area, the two legs, and the back area of the diaper. And now I want to open the little part that I hadn't sewn together when I did right sides together, and I want to flip my diaper through that part, through that wing, so that I can flip it right sides out and top stitch around the diaper. So I'm going to use a straight stitch, and I'm going to sew with a minimal top stitch, except for in the leg elastic area. So right now I've reached the leg elastic, and I'm going to increase my seam allowance so that I can sew around the leg area as well as any other area with elastic without actually hitting the elastic. If I were to hit the elastic, it would prevent the elastic from gathering, and the diaper would not function as well. So I want to just flatten out this fabric the best that I can as I'm sewing through the leg elastic area. Make sure my seam allowance is large enough to avoid sewing the elastic. Once I pass the elastic tack point, I can then return to a normal top stitch with a minimal seam allowance. And I'm coming to the wing that is left open, where I'm going to want to fold the fabric down and top stitch it closed. And here's the last little bit of fabric that needs to be top stitched. This is the last area of my open wing, and I'm coming back to the place where I first started top stitching, so I'll be sure to reinforce that spot well, and then I'm done with my top stitching. So here's my completed diaper with the back and the front, and this is the outer material. You'll see that when the front is pulled up, you have the nice underwear style crotch here, and then all I have left to do is put either my snaps or my hook and loop in the appropriate spots on the wings for closure. I recommend on this diaper placing the snaps after the diaper is finished, so you're going to put them through both layers of the fabric. And I like to start with the front of the diaper first. We want to place the stud snaps a ½ inch from the finished edge of the diaper. So this is the back of the diaper, and the first thing that I like to do is to measure a ½ inch from the finished edge of the back wing and just kind of make a little line with a disappearing marker at a ½ inch, and so that way I know how far from the edge of the wing to place my first socket. Then instead of just using the pattern to line up my snaps, I like to take the front wing, the studs on the front wing, and line it up with that ½ inch mark, so then I make sure that my two studs will fit my first two sockets perfectly. And then just make a little mark underneath using a disappearing marker where the center of that socket snap on the back wing should go. And then again another mark down here where this socket should go. Then once I place my first two sockets, after that I like to measure 1 inch from the center of the first socket to where the center of the second socket will go, and make a mark there. I'm going to follow the instructions on how to place the hook and loop according to the size diaper. This is one of the larger child size diapers, so it's going to have 2 rows of hook and loop on the front and back wings. So now I have the 4 long pieces of loop sewn to the back wings of the diaper, and you'll notice the back wing hook and loop, or snaps for that matter, are attached to the outer fabric so that they're showing on the outer fabric in the back of the diaper. Now the hook and loop going on the front wings is going to go on the inner fabric so that it will engage the loop there on the back.